3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Marne Report.
What's up, Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield? This is Jenny here, and this is the Marne Report, and I am here with Beau and Emily from DPTMS. Would you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, I'm Beau Bradley from DPTMS, and I'm here with my tag team partner, Miss Emily.
Hi, good morning. It's Emily.
All right, and we are here to talk about hurricanes today. If you don't know, now you know. The 2022 hurricane season is starting. Beau, what are the dates for the hurricane season this year?
Hey, Jenny, what's going on, Fort Stewart and Hunter? The 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is 1 June to 31 November. Going back to December of 2021 is when we first started getting our information for this year's hurricane season.
So they're already projecting what the storms are going to look like. The models are out there. And if I'm not mistaken, we're projected to have quite a few storms this year.
That's correct. In fact, this is the seventh consecutive year that the National Hurricane Season has projected an above average number of storms. Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield, unfortunately, have been impacted 4 of those years so far.
Wow. Emily, as someone who lives here, and I actually live off the installation, what should I be prepared for? What should I have on hand in the event of a storm?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking, Jenny. So, what we want to go ahead and do is make a plan, whether that's getting some cash ready, consider your family needs as well. Get prescriptions, ensure that your pets are taken care of, whether or not you have service animals. And please, what we're asking is do not wait. Also, go ahead and have food on hand and water. Keep all of that stored. You really want to be prepared.
This is the time of year I usually have an enormous amount of water and peanut butter because if nothing else, you can always eat peanut butter even if the electric's not on. So as far as evacuations,
Soldiers have to follow the orders of the senior commander, and what we recommend is that our spouses and our Army families be prepared to evacuate without the soldier. Everybody knows 1st Brigade is currently deployed, so those families have to be prepared just in case the senior commander orders evacuation. We want to have the lowest number of people possible on the installation should the senior commander give that order.
Okay. And Emily, you mentioned pets earlier, and I just want to circle back to that. When we're talking about pets in particular, we never want to leave them. Is that right?
Absolutely. Please do not leave your pets behind. And please also think about whether or not they need medications too, their food, have bowls for them, water. They're integral to the family, just as everyone else is. So if you do have pets, please bring lots of water.
And if we're going to go to, say, a shelter as opposed to a hotel or something like that, are there shelters that will take your animals?
Not on Fort Stewart. That's the reason that we want the families to prepare now for when the senior commander gives that evacuation order, that they evacuate not only with their children but their pets and the items that they need for about 5 to 8 days.
So what I hear you saying is don't wait until the hurricane season kicks off. Take this month of May to make sure that your pantry is stocked full of things that are not necessarily perishable foods because, again, the power could go out and you could be here. I think it was Hurricane Michael. We decided not to evacuate off of Fort Stewart, and we were not ready. And it was 4 days, I think, without the power. So
That's correct.
it's a good idea you might not necessarily get the evacuation order. You might decide to stay, and you could be stuck where, and I know, Beau, we live out in Long County where trees being down, power being out for a week is a very real possibility. And so that's why we say you need to have things that are non-perishable. Make sure you have enough water, because even if the power is not out, you might be stuck in that situation for a few days. What's the best way for people to get information if we're going into a storm?
Okay, so if we are going into a storm, best way to get information, go ahead and follow the United States Army Garrison social media platforms. We're going to have the most current info on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but then also for other resources, go to ready.army.mil. That'll give you some resources to make plans too.
All right, guys, so we've talked about preparing, we've talked about evacuations. One more thing on preparing. Is it a good idea to wait until we are about 48 hours from, say, a Cat 3 hitting the coast to head to Walmart?
Absolutely not, because there'll be a run on supplies, there'll be a run on everything else, and quite possibly all these people from Florida have already started evacuating. Once again, that's why we want you all to start the plan now.
So, Fort Stewart and Hunter, we are going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk about what happens when we return from an evacuation. All right, welcome back, Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. We are here with Beau and Emily. We talked before the break about what we would do to prepare and about evacuations. Guys, what happens in the event? Let's say we get evacuated. What happens upon return?
So the big thing that we want to communicate to everybody, just like you know the senior commander gives the order to evacuate, don't return unless the senior commander has rescinded the evacuation order. So we want you to try to keep in touch with your chain of command. Spouses have all types of important phone numbers that you can check into. Keep monitoring those social media platforms, but we don't want you to return until the order has been given, because sometimes the installation is not ready for your return. There might be debris on the road. There might be electrical problems. So generally speaking, it is everything east of 95. The further west you go, the more safe it is. So if you live in certain areas, you may not have to evacuate, and that's why we want you to follow all the current information on the social media platforms.
So this has been some really great information, guys. We really appreciate it. Emily, give us that website one more time.
Yes, absolutely. It is ready.army.mil, and then again, go to our social media page on Facebook, United States Army Garrison, Fort Stewart page.
All right, Fort Stewart and Hunter, you heard it here. Make sure you go to those pages, have your plan ready. And like Beau said, don't be afraid, live your life. Just make sure you're prepared and you have a plan.
Until the order is given, stay safe.
It's that time of year again. It's PCS season. We know PCSing is stressful. There's a lot to keep track of, from getting your orders to shipping your household goods, arranging your travel, learning about your new Army home, and so much more. That's why we want to make it as stress-free as possible by providing you with the one-size-fits-all tool, the Digital Garrison app. The Digital Garrison app is your one-stop shop to learn all about your new Army home. The Digital Garrison app gives you valuable information at your fingertips. Gate hours, services on post, phone numbers, and more. The Digital Garrison app is your insight into your new Army home. So download the Digital Garrison app today and make your PCS with a little less stress.